We will be live.
We are not.
We're live. We're live, everyone.
Live.
It's now we're live.
Let's go. Morning.
Yay!
All right.
So our leader is not among us, though.
Technical difficulties. She'll be back.
So Jen said
we are live.
Whisked away. She's in a hotel room. Probably has terrible Wi-Fi. So I think that she popped off and will pop back in. But why don't we do this? This team is here together this morning to talk about an upcoming boot camp that about a dozen career coaches, resume writers, recruiters, marketing experts, all of that are coming together for 2 days, this Thursday, this Friday, for an incredible experience for people that sign up. So why don't we do this? I've got our little agenda that Jennifer has set up for us. So why don't we just do a round robin and do, a 1-minute intro. Lisa, do you want to start?
Sure. Happy to. Hello, viewers. So glad that you're joining us. I am Lisa Hammett. I am a certified positive intelligence PQ coach, which in essence, I'm a mental fitness expert. I'm also a transformational speaker and an author. And I am going to be helping individuals develop mental fitness and really understand how negative thought patterns can really impact our behavior.
I am so excited that you're part of this team because I think that the mental health aspect of career transitions is one of the things that people downplay until they're in the transition, and then they realize how overwhelming and isolating it can feel. And there's also, issues at home with the family putting pressure on people like, hey, how's it going? So there's so many different things that I know you're going to bring to the conversation on Thursday and Friday. Lindsay, do you want to introduce yourself?
I'd love to. Lovely being with you all. And I know Lauren Sermon is on her way, so she just got the link, so she'll be joining us too. So hi, everyone. Lindsay Dowd. I have been in corporate America for 25 years. I was a hiring manager managing really large sales teams for IBM for 23 years. And my portion of this boot camp is really helping on building your personal brand and focusing on optimizing your LinkedIn. I'm a 2-time author and a podcast host and a bunch of other things, but so excited to help some people level up to this next chapter. And we are bringing the value. So that's what's so exciting to me about being with this group of all-stars. So thank you for including me.
That is so awesome. You're right. We're going to help people level up, and I'm super excited to be in the room with you, Lindsay, and learning from the whole marketing expertise. And I'm starting to feel like I need to catch up. I'm working on a book myself, and I'm already sitting here with published authors. So that's like, super cool. So Lynn, would you like to introduce yourself?
Absolutely. My name is Lynn Williams, and I am in the suburbs of Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love. So I'm going to share my expertise in the areas of resumes, ATS resumes, LinkedIn, and I do know a couple things about networking. I'm a very avid networker. So I haven't written a book, but I did write a chapter in a book with the author of What Color's Your Parachute, who has sadly passed away. And my the chapter of my book had to do with the applicant tracking system. So I do know a few things about keywords. That book was published in 2016. But currently what I am writing is my doctoral dissertation on the topic of LinkedIn for job seekers. So that's what's keeping me busy writing right now. So I run the largest job seeker group out of the greater Philadelphia area. And I am so excited to be part of this amazing, unique event. We are going to deliver. We are going to bring it to you. So let's go.
Thank you, Lynn. I'm so excited. I mean, to have somebody like you that runs a job seekers group, that's mind blowing. I know I'm going to learn from you as well. Hey, so Donna and Lauren and Jennifer, we're just doing a quick intro. Donna, would you like to introduce yourself?
I sure would, ladies. Thank you so much for inviting me to attend this, as well as the 2-day boot camp, which is right around the corner. My name is Donna Spina. I'm an International Coach Federation credentialed coach. I'm in Pennsylvania. I focus on small business owners and corporate leaders, but what makes me a little bit different in terms of an executive leadership coach is I help them develop the mindset of a business owner to get more cutting edge. And to do that, I also focus on communication and starting from an empathetic position. So I like to use the terminology start with heart so that my clients can become more resilient in their mindset and be able to get to the heart of matters when they are having a conversation with anyone across the table from them. In essence, I help my executive leadership coach clients from burning out. It's too often we want to be in a pleaser mode, and as a result, I use a series of assessments so an individual can get better insights into who they are in what they do versus just identify with their title so that we can illuminate their path forward. So thanks so much for your listening ear. Appreciate that.
Thanks, Donna. Lauren, hello. Good to see you. Would you just give us like a 1-minute intro on like, how you're participating in the boot camp and what you do?
Yeah, sure. Hi, everyone. Lauren Sermon. I am the founder of LWL Consulting. We are mainly a recruiting agency. So I do recruiting day in and day out as an agency recruiter, which is an outside partner for a number of companies. So I have the inside scoop with how a number of different companies are running these days, what's going on. I also work with job seekers directly for job search strategy sessions. Coming from a sales and hiring manager background, I try to help job seekers think of what the hiring managers are going through and how to break through the noise. So it's been really rewarding, really fun kind of working for myself these last few years. And I'm just really excited to be involved in the boot camp with all of you. And hopefully we can really help some job seekers level up.
Absolutely. I love it. Thank you. Jennifer, would you like to go next? And then I'll go after you.
Yeah. Hey, so I'm happy that I was able to make it today because it was a bit touch and go with all of the new flight information or the flight changes and all the delays. So I'm Jennifer Sethry. I'm the CEO of Intry, and Intry is a platform that helps you get your resume through applicant tracking system software. It took almost 5 years to develop to figure out how you can get through the technology that's constantly evolving. So, and the idea for this bootcamp was to create an event that was a 360 for everybody, right? So you would start with everything that you need to succeed in the marketplace. And I know we're going to talk about that. And Gina, I want you to talk about your background too. So I'm honored that all these guys decided to be a part of it. I haven't written a book. I think that the coolest thing I've done in comparison is, I've started and sold a couple companies and I've run a couple public companies, but that kind of pales in comparison into getting to what all of you guys do, which is help people get unstuck and really navigate their way through this environment when, I think this is one of the most challenging markets that it's been in a while, and not just at one level. I think it's at every level. So the thought process with this is to really get in there and to change people's lives.
And I'm here for that. That's what we're all here for. So I'm Gina Riley. I have created a program called Career Velocity. I've got Career Velocity LLC. With my program, I help leaders and executives go through, manage a career transition plan with a strategy that works. And I'm working on a book, actually converting that model into a book. I'm working with Advantage Forbes Books right now, hopefully out in Q1. And I'm here to participate with helping people create their unique value proposition, the LinkedIn, the resume, all of that stuff. And we're bringing in different kinds of experts that have different lenses, different experiences, and serve different types of people in the job search marketplace. So it's going to be a really rich blend of expertise that we're bringing to this boot camp. So Jennifer, you want to take it from there?
I do. So I was just my phone was blowing up with questions, and I was like, "We got to put it on the on the live. Don't send it to my phone because I can't respond to it as well." So I want to just talk a little bit about what we're going to be doing in each panel. So people have said, so what is a boot camp? We have the LinkedIn event where, site where people can go, but it's, when we were talking about doing this, it's not, you're going to do it by yourself. It's also not, we're going to do everything for you. It's we're going to do it with you. So when you talk about the expectations and you talk about the different cycles that you go through in your job search, one is, defining your unique value proposition. What is your brand? And what is the voice that you want to be heard? So many times people go in and they're like, I can do this and I can do this and I can do this and I can do this, that's great. But I mean, I think Lauren, like you and I talked about that, recruiters, what do you do with that? Like, what's your focus, right? Like, what are you really good at? Where are you going to, put your stake in the ground and be able to communicate that? And if you have a different couple of value, statements, like, I look at myself as an example, right? I've been a CEO, I've been a CMO, I've been a CPO, right? I can go in a lot of different places. But that's one of the things where you have to know your audience, and you've got to be careful where you put that stake in the ground. So when we talk about learning your value proposition and getting that figured out, then it's, identifying and creating a resume or a series of resumes that are going to get you through applicant tracking system software. And we can get into sort of some of those details a little bit more, but then, that goes into, what job descriptions are good for you? What are the pros? What are the cons? And then you leave this with, ATS resumes that you can use and you can start applying to. Then when you get through with that, we talk about LinkedIn. What's happening on LinkedIn? How do you create a brand for yourself on LinkedIn? You get an updated banner, right? You get an updated LinkedIn profile. And with that, it's how do you leverage the technology? LinkedIn has changed the rules a lot in the last, guys, what would you say, like 90 days? Things have really shifted a lot, not just for people who use it as a tool to find business, but also as a job seeker. And talk through some of those things. And really, we don't want this boot camp to be theoretical where we're sitting in a class and we're like, well, so you could try this or you could try this. It's like, no, do this. You want to do this? Here's your roadmap to go do that. So it's a boot camp that we're doing with you, right? And then when you get through the brand, the LinkedIn updates, the resumes, then we get into the nitty gritty about how do you network? Because it's kind of an art, right? There's like when you get, I know you guys get a bazillion email messages or LinkedIn messages a day, and I do too. And I can look through those and I can be like, this was spam, you sent this one to everybody, I'm not special, right? I want to answer the LinkedIn ones that make me feel special, right? I'm just saying, like, you got so much time in a day,
That's right.
got to be able to do that. And so, then how do you network? How do you create a message? What's the best way to create a message? How do you create a drip campaign? How many messages should you send? What is follow-up? How do you, like Lauren, you and I talked about, how do you create messages to send to a recruiter? How do you send a message to a recruiter that's posted the job? How do you send a message to a recruiter that's in a space you want to be in? How do you send a recruiter, that maybe owns a company and you're kind of trying to expand your network more? And ditto that for hiring managers. And then right now we just had our live last week about talking about mental health and your mental health strategies. We're in a spot right now where it's like everybody's getting a little bit pounded, right? There's so much negativity out there, and it's easy to feel down when you're sending out 100 resumes or 200 resumes and you're not getting an interview, and talk through, how do you cope with that? How do you not let it take you down? Like Lisa talks a lot about burnout, right? And all of that information, and really you leave with a really granular strategy. And like, listen, I'm the carrier. I'm a platform. All of these people and the other people who are at this event are literally the best in the best. You guys are. And I'm not saying that because you all spent time with me. I'm not gratuitous. It's not and so it's just not. And so, I just think this is a really unique opportunity to bring together all of your talent, all of your brain power, and to have candidates leave, whether they're in a position and they want to transition, or if they've been looking for a job and they're hitting that wall, whether it's the technology black wall or the black hole, or you're in a funk and you can't shake it off. Like, that is what this is. This is like, this is magic and alchemy that's going to happen in 2 days. I don't know any other way to describe it. So with that said, I feel like I just sucked all the oxygen out of the room. So
I don't think you did, but what I would say, my takeaway from like what we're coming together and have created is there is a through line for the job seeker in a 2-day window. And like you said, it is a done with you, because the job seeker has to put in the sweat equity to make it all come together. And you'll be getting a dozen people advising and helping and coaching and helping create some of that content, with you. But what I love what you said was that people have to figure out what that sharp tool is. What are they best at? They cannot show up with their Swiss Army knife and say, I need a job and I can do anything, because it's very confusing to the people that are trying to help you, whether that's a recruiter, whether that's somebody in your network. So we'll be talking about all these different strategies and kind of like trying to get under the skin of the recruiter and think like a recruiter, so that we're attacking the job search process in a different way.
Yeah.
And I think we're all going to come to the table here with different ideas. I have found that, you ask 10 resume writers how to write a resume, or 10 LinkedIn profile writers how to write a LinkedIn profile, you're going to get 20 different answers. So you're going to get options of how you might present yourself. And you're going to take these options and you're going to figure out, well, which one do you like the best? Which one fits you the best? And then you're going to take it and run with it. So you're going to take the best of the best from all these experts and make it your own, so that it fits you. It's got to be a good fit for you. So with all these different opinions and ideas from all these different experts, you're just gonna walk away with excellent career documents and a good brand.
Well, and I think there isn't another thing that any of us have seen where we've pulled together this kind of expertise in one spot. And to work with us all separately would cost you a lot of money. So having us all together and collaborating live with you, with your ideas, with your resume, with your LinkedIn profile, that's what's going to really give you the edge over other job seekers. And I've just never seen this kind of grouping of expertise in one space. It's really, really special.
There is something I'd like to add about that. The majority of us are here because we're in it to help others win it. We're not here because we're pulling a paycheck from it necessarily. We recognize there's a distinctive need on the planet at this time, especially the United States, where there's just a buffet of things to understand when you go into any sort of job hunt situation, whether you're trying to level up in your existing career or do a transition of careers, or you've been in a situation, a job for a long time, and now this is changing for the first time in a long time. I mean, it's enough to make you want to swallow your tongue with all the angles and things you need to understand. It really can be breathless. So we're here to try to simplify the process, reduce the overwhelm, and help the individual understand. The most critical piece, I feel, is in any job hunt is what vision they have for themselves, so that they can reverse engineer what they truly want. And once they start to align themselves with what they truly want, they can start to align their skill sets, their value system, their experiences, and the flow happens. But when you step into this platform, you might feel overwhelmed. We're here to keep it simple, stupid, as much as we possibly can.
It's a weird world. It's a weird world out there right now.
For
and
sure.
Job search is such an emotional journey. Mm-hmm. And as a nonprofit leader of a job search group, I have people calling me and even though I'm not a psychologist or a psychiatrist, I still feel like sometimes I take on that role. I have people calling me and they're in tears. I have men calling me and they're in tears about this current job market right now. And I am so happy that we have mental health experts that are part of this process, because there may be some tears shed in this process. Because I know when I was a job seeker, over a decade ago, I did shed some tears. And when you're in job search, you're not alone. You need a team to support you, and we're going to be part of that team.
Yes, Lynn, we're the village. We're the village. Absolutely right. And it is an emotional journey because you feel as though you're on the hot seat. And if you don't get the responses you anticipate, you think you'll get, it really can lead to a lot of emotional roller coaster. So that's what's the beautiful part about this, is that we have licensed mental health therapists to help people understand that how their emotions are affecting how they're operating. And often those emotions are totally normal. Anybody in that specific space would feel the same way. It doesn't mean you're a bad person, a weak person. It just means you need help. It's a lot,
and
too much to figure out yourself.
My heart also goes out for people who are introverts, who are neurodivergent,
Yes.
meaning that they have ADHD, they're autistic. I am the mother of an AUDHD adult child. So been there, done that, done the mentoring and the coaching all throughout, her adult life. So understand and accept that you need that support. So if you know that you need that kind of help, come join us. We do have that empathy, that sympathy here to help you.
Well, some of our listeners might be wondering when this bootcamp even happens. It does happen this Thursday and Friday, and they are 2 full days where we break these down into breakout sessions guided by 2 or 3 different panelists, and only some of them are represented here today. And we give you an opportunity to space how the information is being delivered, and we remain accessible to those attendees during the breakout sessions, even after the breakout session takes place, because more questions will arise. So we're being extremely flexible this Thursday and Friday for 2 full days, and it's all virtual. So you don't have to leave the comfort of your home or wherever you might be, even if you're on vacation and you want to take the time out.
Yeah. And I think it's, someone just asked, like, is this just for one specific group of people? Right. And I can tell you, the people that we've all helped and you've all helped is, it can be someone who's just graduated, college, or maybe hasn't gone to college and are trying to figure out where they're going to go. It's and all the way up to senior executives and C-suites, right? This is sort of an across the board challenge to do, this 360 boot camp. And I think it's going to be extremely epic. There's some homework to do in advance, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's some forms that you need to fill out. You've got to fill out, profile on Intry. You've got to take an assessment, so we can share that information. And there's a questionnaire that goes out. There's some questions that have to be filled out when creating your personal brand. And, when we're creating, what is your banner going to look like? What are some brands going to look like? All of that stuff is information that, we're going to ask. And we've only got, a few seats left. Right. And we decided to do this last push because it's just something that we think is going to be just game changing. I don't want to oversell it, because it's getting all of you in a room with your different perspectives, and, Lauren, with your experience in recruiting, and there's a right way and there's a wrong way to approach recruiters. There's a right way and a wrong way to approach hiring managers. There's right ways and wrong ways to, deal with technology, right? Technology is a big part of what we're going to be talking about, and things that you don't know that are working against you, and really sort of drilling down into those concepts. So, this is amazing. I mean, Lisa, I want to just go to you for a quick second. When we were talking on Friday about burnout, that's a really legitimate thing that you guys are going to be talking about in the boot camp, which is on Friday. So if you guys want to go to the event that Dan put in there, it gives you what's day 1 and what's day 2, and it gets kind of granular. So hopefully that can answer a lot of people's questions.
Am I answering something?
Just like the burnout part of it, right? Because I think it's like people have thought it's taboo, right? But I guess maybe give a snapshot of what your strategy looks like, and then I'd like to bounce to Lauren, because I keep meaning to go there, and then I end up going on in different directions. So I want to make sure that Lauren gets a little bit of a chance to chat about what she's going to talk about.
Well, burnout looks different for everybody. Obviously, if you've been out of work for a while, you could just you almost start to become apathetic in some ways, because you're done. You're frustrated. Other times it's high anxiety and you can't sleep, and or it's just these negative thought patterns that we often don't recognize that we have, which then impacts our behavior. And why it's so important to talk about these things and to recognize that you're having these kind of feelings and these thoughts is because they're influencing how you show up in interviews, on social media, talking to recruiters, in networking events. And you may think that you're saying the right things and you look the right way, but people can sense. And this is going to be so valuable for people to really understand. Yeah.
I don't mean to interrupt, but Lauren has to hop for another meeting. So Lauren, how do you deal with that when someone comes in with what Lisa was just describing, right? They may have the talent, they may have the right outfit, they may have the right resume, they get to interview with you, and then they have this sort of black cloud. What happens?
Yeah. So it's really kind of breaking down the why and being really to get through the barriers. I think a lot of times at the surface level, I've redone my resume and I've practice interviewed, and you're telling yourself all of the things you've done, and you're not really getting to the why it's not working. And sometimes that's because it's uncomfortable. And I know that we've talked about that a little bit, but it is uncomfortable to figure out exactly why you're not moving through the process. It's not going to be something that's sunshine and rainbows all the time. And I think that's challenging for people, especially when they already have this black cloud and they're already kind of in this space to hear. But having somebody who's willing to work through it with you, to sit with you in it, to sit there and say, these aren't issues, these are actually strengths. Let's reframe them and let's work through this. But having an outsider's perspective, just because sometimes we're stuck in the suck and we can't get through it on our own. And you just need somebody to help you reframe your mind. And I think that sometimes that's all that it is once you're able to reframe your mindset, you can get through that black cloud. And then it's actionable takeaways. It's not general stuff that maybe this would work. It's no, this is an exact paragraph you could send. This is an exact sentence structure. You could change this part, you could change this part, and this is something you could take away and move forward that would work for you in the future. So really just making sure that people have actionable things that they're moving away from this with that will really help them in the next few weeks see results.
Awesome. Thank you. Lisa, I didn't mean to cut you off. I just knew that had to leave. So I just wanted to make sure she was able to touch base on some of those things.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. Thank you for having me.
Well, we're excited. And I'm sure that lots of people are going to have a lot of questions for you in this space.
All right. Thanks, guys. I'll see you then.
Take care, Lauren.
Bye. So, Lynn, I want to just touch base with this for you a little bit. And, there's a lot of black holes that people can use in technology. And one is whether y'all that are watching this join the boot camp or not. This is just such a personal thing. And I want people to know, number one, please don't ever use the one-click applies or the easy apply buttons. Okay. That not going to help you. It's going to hurt you more than anything else. Number two, do not post your resume on any job board. And if you
or LinkedIn.
Yep, or LinkedIn. And if you do that, there are ways to fix it. And that's part of our technology section in the boot camp, where we take you through the process of how you can, unblank yourself in that situation. Aren't you guys proud of me? Like, I didn't swear. I mean, I feel like I'm evolving. I want to take a moment. My dad was in the Air Force, so I kind of come by it naturally, but I'm trying to outgrow it. It's not good.
You're just passionate about what you're delivering, what you're feeling, what you created, and you just want to get the message out there. So to minimize, you're putting people out of pain, Jennifer. That's why.
I'm gonna tell my son that. Well, you know what Donna said. So you're gonna have to let it go.
That's right.
Getting back to what all of this is this is a really authentic group of people who absolutely know what they're talking about, and can really help get you unstuck. What did Lauren say? She said, "Unstuck the suck" or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
That is funny, and I that's not swearing. So, but I think like Donna, Lisa, like you guys, sometimes people get paralyzed. I mean, I have been through it where you're like, I'm a pretty smart person. I don't know where to go. Like, am I supposed to go left? Am I supposed to go right? Like, I'm just going to stay where I am because this feels safe, but I'm not getting to where I need to go.
Jen, it's such a personal thing. And anybody that says this is not personal, I'm sorry, they haven't done it for a while. This is deeply personal. This is your livelihood. And especially if you were laid off or if you were fired and you are suddenly without a job, you are dealing with the emotional headspin of all of that. And so building a strategy that's going to keep your head above water and that's going to be encouraging and that's going to set you up for success. Gosh, I mean, I wish I had that when I was fired once, believe it or not, I was. And like, I'm still
I've
here.
been fired too, and it sucks.
Yeah.
It's you're like,
there is life after that. And figuring out how to lean on the people that know this stuff. Oh, how cool that is for you. So just so excited to give that opportunity to people.
Well, the other thing too is it's all the peripheral pressures that get put on you. Let's say you're single and you're underwriting your own life, or you have children that you're underwriting the life for, and you suddenly find yourself unemployed and you got blindsided because you thought you were safe during the merger and acquisition, but all of a sudden you weren't. Or your job just got eliminated. It was no fault of your own. I've had clients say to me, should I put open to work on my LinkedIn profile? Because they're so enormously embarrassed because it feels like failure rather than looking at it from a standpoint. And I know this is higher level thinking, is to look at it as an opportunity. Because maybe I've had people tell me I hated the job anyway. I wouldn't have left unless this happened. But I don't want to spend the money. I think I can do this on my own. That's mistake number 2, is not being willing to invest in yourself to shorten the learning curve, because it's documented statistic-wise. If you get a new program, any kind of computer software program, if you take an actual course, you master it a heck of a lot faster than just quote unquote playing with it and trying to figure it out on your own. So even though funds might be a little bit tight at this time, to get from 0 to 100 faster and get past all that emotional upheaval and that embarrassment you feel because you have to tell people you have been out of work for XYZ period of time. I mean, I know my small business clients, I'm always saying return on investment. You don't buy or spend unless you know what you're going to get back. So I wouldn't say I wouldn't encourage anybody to spend money if I didn't feel confident they were going to get multiples of it back.
I just want to get my pom-poms out right now and shake those for what Donna just said. So I was in job search for 11 and a half months because I didn't know what I didn't know. I didn't know that getting a career coach would help me shorten that unemployment check, okay? And get me a real paycheck faster.
Right.
So I lost money and was paying out bills as a single parent of 2 kids. I didn't know what I didn't know because I didn't know I needed help and I could get to that W-2 paycheck faster So what she just said, yes,
Yeah.
what she just said.
Ego and pride, you got to park it at the door and just say, this is in my best interest, and the people that are depending on me is my best interest.
Yep.
Thank you, Lynn.
Well, and how much time are you spending? And do you feel like you're spinning your wheels? Are you being productive?
Mm-hmm.
You know, because the burnout isn't just the burnout of, okay, going into this, but it's the burnout of actually doing the situation. And, you know, there's this law of diminishing returns that putting yourself through hell to try to get the perfect job or to just find anything that will pay the bills, you know what, that is actually hurting you as opposed to actually helping you. And there's some really easy practical things that you can do that you're going to learn about that you're going to go, really? That it makes all the difference. But you know, if you are working over 40 hours a week trying to find a job and you're not getting results, you're not working intentionally.
Right.
And we can help you work intentionally, focus on the right things, but not, you know, bury yourself in the process, and allow yourself to have the mental bandwidth, to have time with your family, to actually do something fun, just to clear your head and get some distance from this. So,
well, we invest in every other part of our lives, right? Mm-hmm. Why would you not invest something that is going to give you the life that you want? And, you know, like it's, I think you're worth it, right? I think like your time is worth it. And we, you know, we've worked with a bunch of different people who have signed up for the boot camp to do payment programs and things like that. And, you know, I think we gave someone like, there's a 15% discount that we just said that we would do today. And I don't know, Valeska, if you can put that in the chat, that would be great. And cheers to Valeska. She is doing all this. And I hope, I apologize for my bandwidth. I've been traveling and I'm at a hotel, and the internet, I don't think is as strong as it should be. So I apologize if I come across a little like hiccupy. But I guess, you know, like Lindsay and Gina, one of the things I'd like to ask you guys is, what do you think the key takeaway is for people to understand about this boot camp? I mean, maybe each one of you guys can give your sort of what you think the takeaways are.
Okay, I'll go. So like I kind of said it before, that, you know, having this much expertise and this level of expertise all in one fell swoop really makes you a very well-rounded candidate. And in my opinion, and I would think every woman here would agree, you can't just have a great resume and a lousy LinkedIn profile. You can't have a really great resume, a decent LinkedIn profile, and a not curated story. Like, you have to build all of these things, because when you show up really well with a 2-minute soundbite of who you are and what you're looking for and all the good stuff to match, you are a candidate that they want more of. And you want to be the most memorable person in the room. So we're setting yourself up for success. And the fact that we're addressing the mental health piece of it is so, so important. I don't know anybody else that's doing this kind of work that's really going there. If you're doing one-on-one coaching, I would hope that that's something they're addressing with you. But they might not have the skill set for it. They might really just be focused on resumes or just be focused on career coach. So this, we're really hitting all the sides. And I just am so thrilled that people are going to get to come out of it with things in their hands, not like, okay, so you're going to go do this. See you later.
Right.
We're doing it with you. We want to see you done. There will be homework and there will be pre-work, but we're setting you up to really win.
And I have an extra surprise that Jennifer doesn't even know about right now. Okay. Or none of you know.
I love surprises.
I love surprises too. So I've decided that whoever signs up for this boot camp, I'm going to give them a month free membership at greatcareers.org. So you will be able to attend an additional 18 to 25 events for free. Okay.
Oh, Lynn.
So I will have all your emails, and I will cause for that to happen on the back end. So there will be, extra support and learning through our nonprofit. So yeah, that's going to be my additional gift and freebie to you.
Wow.
That just blew my mind. That's amazing.
But you got to sign up. And you know what? I heard that one of my former clients signed up, and he's already had his resume done. It needs a refresh, but I heard he signed up and he's already a member. So he's also going to get his membership extended.
Very cool. I think what Lindsay said it
amazing.
Lindsay said it really well. I think what I would add is this is a holistic approach to the job search process that enables people to walk through the moving parts with help and support. And we're there every step of the way. We're delivering content, but it's not lecture. It's offering content and then breaking out into small groups, sometimes with the different pros on the team, and working through each of these micro pieces. So that's what I think is so special, is we've been very thoughtful and intentional about how we're walking people through this process so that it makes sense, that we're not just throwing everything onto the wall and, doing a menu of options. We've really thought about, like, how do we support people from A to Z to finish the boot camp so you can come out with a stronger approach.
Yeah. Go ahead, Lisa.
Yeah, and to keep your mental health intact as you go through this overwhelming process. And it's not rocket science, but how cool would it be to know that you can navigate this process very successfully and have your best health and well-being and be mentally confident and resilient and productive in the process. It's very doable.
Donna, I mean, you already kind of said it. It's, ditto, 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 ditto.
Well, if I could just add one thing. Somebody mentioned about reframing your outlook. It's perspective. It is boiled down to perspective. If you've lost a job, if you got laid off, fired, downsized, whatever it is, I'd like to use the mantra that life happens for you, not to you. And it's an opportunity for you to get a clear, vivid vision on what you really want for your career. Instead of being pulled through a career, you get the opportunity to choose the steps in the staircase. So this isn't something to be embarrassed by or to feel like you're a failure. It's an opportunity that came along because you might have gotten little red flags that you should have done something different and you sort of ignored it. And this is the implosion trying to get your attention. And we are 1,000% here to try to approach you holistically with a W, as well as holistically with just an H to start it off. And we each are strongly passionate for what we do. And we're really going to give you some awesome insights that even when you look in the mirror, you can't see yourself.
Yes. Again, I'm going to say ditto because I can't say it better than that. So there've been a couple questions about how much is the membership. So it's on the website, but it's $1,999.99. And then for the people who, attended, we put a Dream Job 15, which is a 15% discount. And, there aren't a lot of spots left. So if you want to do it, I think, now is probably the time to do it. And then Wednesday, we're done, we're cut off. So.
Well, and I would add the reason why we're cut off as well is because we have a pre-work packet. And so if you're really thinking about this, I would just sign up today because we're sending those pre-work packets out and it's going to take a little time to come into the boot camp ready to do the work. So if you want the best outcome, then you're going to need to do this pre-work that we've thoughtfully put together.
And here's my small business consulting knowledge coming in. Chances are It's probably going to be an income tax deduction for 2024. Check with your accountant.
Coaching, yeah.
But part
Yeah.
of the job search, if you had to buy software, buy clothes, hire someone, whatever, keep a record of that in a safe place. And when it comes time to do your annual tax return, make sure you consult with your tax expert to see how that can help you minimize your tax basis.
Yeah, your outcomes will be much better when you collaborate with somebody. I think it's kind of icky when somebody hands somebody a resume, you answer a questionnaire, have a discussion, and then they hand a resume back and it's done for you. You don't get as good of outcomes as if you work with somebody, because they need to pull information out of you.
That's right.
Because none of us have ESP, right?
Right.
We need to get metrics out of you. How did you help a company make money, save time? How did you move mountains at your past company? We need those metrics, because if you did it in the past, you can certainly do it in the future.
Right.
So that's the collaboration process.
I think something to add to what you said, Lynn, the pre-work is not just to put you through a bunch of work. The pre-work helps us really tailor our stuff to you. So ideally, we'll have your information ahead of time. And when we're talking about building your brand on LinkedIn, or when we're talking about your resume, we're going to be able to move fast, and we're breaking into these small groups so we can be super hands-on. And that's the design of this, which I love so much. And I think Jen said it at the top. You are going to be matched with like-minded people and like-leveled people. So if you are an executive, you'll be with other executives. If you are post-grad, you'll be with other post-grads. If you're mid-career, etc. So we really tried to make it so whoever is working with you is having kind of a similar vibe, but your stories are your own. Your brands are your own, and we want to help you pull out the very best.
You know, I'm glad you brought that up, Lindsay, because that's the inner circle. You don't know who you're going to be with in these breakout sessions.
Right.
Now you're creating you're adding to your network in a sense where you don't know where they've been or who they might know. And so you're adding to another layer, another dimension of people that you can seek out potential opportunities with or from.
I mean, 100%. And I think that the thing that just to kind of sum up what you guys are doing is like the pre-work information we're sending out, we're trying to get to know you, right? So we're not coming in cold. We want to understand some of your background. We want to understand some of your struggles so that there's the customization to the process and to the approach. So, you know, like we all have a bit of a heavy lift pre-bootcamp, and you guys have a bit of a lift pre-bootcamp as well. So you can have the full circle. And yes, Mark, you did hear that. Actually, what you heard was $1,999.99.
With a discount today.
With the discount today, a 15% discount. And that is an extreme value. If you guys wanted to sign up and work with every single person that's on this panel, you would be, you know, close to $45,000. So this is I feel like I'm on, you know, QVC all of a sudden, but you know,
and it comes in 5 colors.
Yeah. So I'm wondering if people who might be tuning in, if they have any questions though that they want to throw in the chat. And for those of us who are here today, we'll check back with this, you know, event and see if other questions come in as this circulates, you know, a couple of hours from now. So if you have a question, throw it in there, and we'll do our level best to adequately respond to you.
100%. So is there anything else y'all think that we haven't talked about that, you know, is important, right? We've talked about what people are going to learn and who we are, the benefits, the takeaways, the structure. It's an intimate structure, you know, the pricing, and, you know, the preparation that has to go into it from our side and the attendee side. You know, this really isn't something that's been done. Well, so, I mean, Mark's penny's a penny. I mean, I'm just saying, I want to split hairs.
Mark's in financial reporting, so
but
he wants to be exact.
That's understandable.
I love it. No, I totally love it. Mark, I'm
And he
giving you a hard
saved his
time. I
penny
hope you have
earned.
a good sense of humor.
Well, the other piece too is the interview process, because once you get to that point, the resume, the LinkedIn profile, you have your network, you've done your little sound bites to people to get yourself to the table to talk. That's no time to be humble or choke. So we're going to be talking about that piece and how to respond properly to their questions. So when they say things like, well, tell me about yourself, you go right into what your core is and what you envision for yourself versus saying where you live and how many pets you might have. That's not the answer they're looking for. So I know that's kind of I don't mean to sound condescending, but people get nervous and then they start speaking out of turn in some way. And then also knowing how to interrogate your interrogator so that you look like you are really considering them as being the lucky one to hire you. So that's an important piece too.
Totally flip the paradigm. I mean, yes. I totally agree with that. And I think it's, you know, I think people, you know, who haven't looked for a job recently kind of forget how to interview. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like, I'm awesome. Hello, I'm here.
Well,
what more is me?
To that point, Jen, I mean, people talk to me about this all the time. Like, what happens if you did 6 months at a company and you bounced? What happens if you did a year here, a year here, and a year there? The world has changed. We're no longer looking at the companies like where I was at IBM for 23 years. That is weird now. Nobody does that anymore. Nobody's looking for that. They're looking for your story. They're looking for a through line of why you moved. And that's what we're going to help you build. I think when people kind of hear their story back for the first time, they're like, oh, I'm not bad. So that's really what we want you to get to.
To add on to that, Lindsay, we don't want to list, well, tell me about yourself. Well, I'm humble, I'm resilient, I'm reliable. They're not looking for adjectives. They're looking for situations and experiences told in story fashion in a sequential way that show those qualities without stating that. And obviously, how you work not just for the company, but how you work with the others they're going to be around you, how you bring people along to increase whatever you're trying to increase or impact whatever you're trying to impact. So it's showing, not telling.
All right. So we're almost to the end of our live. Does anybody have any questions that they want to ask us about the boot camp? I feel like we've touched on sort of the important parts. The one thing that I'm going to bring up, and I was like, bring it up. Should I not bring it up? But it's me, so I'm going to bring it up. One of the things that, you know, we're also going to talk about in certain groups is ageism, you know, for men and for women and for bias and how that impacts your job search and the do's and don'ts of that, because that's becoming more prevalent than it ever has been before. And when I say ageism, it's not just ageism, you know, you're over 40 or you're over 45. There's also ageism as you get out of college, you know, and, you know, there's not as many internships as there used to be. And there's, you know, things have changed, right? Yeah. And, you know, executive presence is another thing that we're going to be covering. And, you know, when we say boot camp, I don't want everyone to think it's, you know, like, you know, 100 people in, you know, a virtual Zoom. This is a small group, intimate, you know, one-on-one. Okay, let's get your story out, you know, and role playing and conversations and really peeling back the onion to figure out what has been holding you back, how to get you unstuck, you know, and there's going to be some difficult questions, right? There's probably going to be some emotional questions that we're going to get to. And like, listen, the only way through that is through it. Right. You don't go around it. You don't go underneath it. You don't go over it. You go through it. and there's a team of experts that, you know, are almost donating their time to do this. And I think that's what everybody needs to take away. Understand the number may seem like a big number, but again, individually, this group and other people who aren't on this are the best of the best, and I don't say that lightly. So it's going to be a safe place, and it's going to be an amazing experience, I think, for everybody who decides to attend. So,
And the other thing is, Jennifer,
yeah.
Our trajectory of our lives was not a straight line. If I look at my life, it's like a bad AKG, but it's how many times did you get back up? So when you're dealing with players like the panelists here that have shown resilience and kept their eye on the ball, no matter how many fires they had to walk through to get there, there's nothing, chances are, that we haven't heard or felt already. So it is a psychologically safe place, because when you break down, it's not a breakdown, it's a breakthrough. You're actually releasing the pent-up emotions that have been trapped inside of you that you didn't find your voice to speak about. So this is the opportunity to find out who you are at this moment in time and where your voice is and where you can send it in a safe place, because we've all fallen down. So it's a no judgment zone.
And we can help support pivots and reinventions. Mm-hmm. So a pivot is where you're staying in the same industry but doing a different role. A reinvention is where you want to do something completely different. And I have done that several times. I've been in the K-12 education, I've been in nonprofit, I've been in entrepreneurship, and I've been in corporate America. So, you know, I come from different industries, you know, with different experiences, just like all these other experts. They've come with their expertise from different areas. So when we blend all that together, you know, we can share how you can get from your point A now to where you want to go in your future forward point B.
So I just want to quickly say, you know, I have felt this way in the past, investing a sum of money, especially, you know, when you're on a fixed income, and it's scary. Mm-hmm. It's really scary. And I guess the question I would ask you is, are you getting the results that you want? And how long have you been going through this? And if you're not, you know, we can't guarantee that you're going to get all these amazing results, because we can't force you to do the work. But if you show up and you do the pre-work, you will get results. And isn't that better than where you might be right now? So just something to consider. I know it's scary, because when I've made big investments in myself in the past, I've gone, oh, you know what? But it's always been the best thing I could have ever done. So just, you are worth it. And I think, Jennifer, you were the one who said that earlier. You are worth it. And what if this lands you that job that you've been searching for months and months and months?
So, you know, I think I mentioned it. And for some reason, it's not, I can't comment on my live. But, you know, we do, you know, when you go to the site, there are payment plans. And, you know, if you've got questions or you need to work something out specifically, you can just reach out to the comment section or the support section on the event site. And, you know, we'll figure out how to work with you.
And it's a math question at the same time. I realize the emotional and the psychological piece. But if you look at what is coming into the household to overcome your daily, monthly expenses, as well as what your savings account might look like, you're getting an idea how long you can hold off before you actually get a real paycheck. So that might help you see that if time is ticking down with your unemployment compensation check, or with the pressure in the household for you to get a job because you haven't, you know, it does boil down to some degree of a math question, because your savings isn't a bottomless pit, and employment does run out. And the longer you're out of work, that speaks something too when you have to explain to in an interview, why is it 9 months and you haven't gotten a job yet? That's an uncomfortable question to have to face.
So, yeah, put a pencil to the paper and do the math. Let's say you earned $100,000 a year. So that's $8,333 a month. And if you have, let's say, $500 a week, for example, of unemployment, that's $2,000 a month. So you're being shorted $6,333 a month, right? So wouldn't it be faster to get back to that $100,000 a year if you got your career documents in order and support, if you had help? As I said, when I was in career transition myself, I didn't know what I didn't know, and that a career coach could help me get to where I needed to get faster. So I was in transition as a single parent of two, with kids in college at 11 and a half months. So just saying, do the math.
That's a great spot to end this on. So I know we're at time, we're a minute over. I can't thank you guys all enough for participating in this. All of you who attended, we hope this was helpful and insightful. And we look forward to hopefully seeing y'all on Thursday and Friday, July 25th and 26th. And you can go to the link to get more details. So thank you guys all so much. We really, really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
See you at the boot camp.
Bye,
everybody.
See you.